It's time to get in the flow
with Pastor Latiska Powell. Restoring the broken, torn, and seem to be forgotten people of God. Freedom to see yourself differently. Liberating you to become who you are. Authentic. Opulence. Operating in the image of God. Wealthy. Born to live. Let's get in the flow. Come spend the next 30 minutes. Get in the flow. In the flow. The flow.
All right, everybody. You already know who it is. It's Pastor Latiska Powell. I, again, am excited. I have a special guest, Stefan Gilliam. He is the principal consultant at Ionia Ovia and the co-founder of Legacy Ventures. He's been doing this thing for over 15 years, helping people reach their highest potential in success. Come on in, Stefan.
How you doing, Pastor Latiska?
I am well. I cannot complain, of course. Now, we were talking backstage, and in our topic backstage, we were talking about business and happiness.
Yes.
So now tell me what it is you do for businesses or entrepreneurs.
Right. So Eolian Avi is my consulting firm. We consult through the areas of business life, artistry, and community. And we do consulting for a wide range of businesses and individuals. So entrepreneurs, executives, we do some consulting for universities, government agencies, things like that. Our focus usually runs somewhere around operations development, marketing, branding, things like that. But sometimes we're just kind of coaching people through whatever particular position they're in. We tend to work with people and or organizations that are in rapid growth, reorganization, and restructure type phases in their lives or in their corporate lives. And so when somebody's got a place where they're like, we're growing a little bit too fast and we don't know what to do, we come in and help them out. If they're, reorganizing things and they're not quite sure how to make it happen, then we help them come in and reorganize things and, just kind of make that development to get them to their highest place of success.
Okay, why was that your decision in life?
Not really my decision. It was kind of a decision that chose me. It's something that I was doing inherently throughout my life, throughout the days. People would talk to me about whatever their obstacle or their problem was, and I would present things in a way that helped it click for them and help them kind of jump the shark and get to the place that they wanted to be. I found someone else who shared that sentiment and did the same thing but in a different way. Her name is Joyce Saunders. She's my business partner. And we kind of decided to go down the road together of helping people and helping businesses move forward towards success.
Okay, so it's also like personal growth you do?
Yes, we do a lot of personal growth. Sometimes we consider ourselves executive counselors as opposed to executive consultants. Because when we get people in the room, we've got to get down to the nitty gritty of what's actually causing you the problem that you're having. A lot of people think it's, external or ancillary issues that are keeping them from what they want. They think if they can just get their budget right or if they can just get their operations together, then everything will work. And most of the time it's something either within them or inside the core dynamics of their organization that's really keeping the organization from flourishing. And so before we can really get started on here's what you need to do, we got to go in and figure out what the problem is.
Okay. And I would think the why.
Yeah.
What is why? I know a lot of business owners that never can tell me their why. And I'm like, what is this? How did you guys this? You have to have a why.
Yeah, you do. People have put a lot of emphasis on the why, though, because people believe that you have to have some existential, deep, meaningful why. I mean, you're running a business. Your why can be because I want to make money. That's the whole purpose of starting a business. So
say that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that.
But I
But
think
when
the
you,
issue is that most people have been taught or they've watched all of the YouTube videos and the gurus that tell them that they have to have some deep, resonant reason on why they've started this business. It has to be because I want to stomp out hunger in America. It can't just be because I make good hamburgers and I want to make money off of it.
okay,
Yeah.
because that's the best why to me. You
Hmm.
and you don't have to really. Your why can be just as basic as I grew up in the hood, and so I'm starting this business to get my family out of it. That cannot be that hard
You're
to
right,
say.
but you also have to validate your why. Because if I was your business consultant, you told me that was the reason you started your business, I would tell you close your business and go get a job. Because starting a business is the worst way to try to get out of the hood. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say I think people put too much emphasis on why these days because they have to. They feel like it has to have a meaning. Your why can really just be because I want to make money. Your why can really just be because I like making hamburgers. It can be something extraordinarily simple. And then it's easier to validate because if the reason you started your business as a restaurant was just because you like to make food, right? And you
Yeah,
wanted other people to enjoy that food, now it just has to be about people enjoying the food. That's all that matters.
but then
Um,
that's stepping into your to that's your heart right there. You know, you love to cook. I like to cook.
hmm But here's the thing, though: everybody that loves to cook should not want to run a restaurant. So that's what I mean
That's
when I say you got to validate your why. Your
yeah,
why
that's
is not the end all be all behind what you are doing in terms of your business.
okay. Well, I hear you. Tell us a little bit about coaching.
Coaching is a little bit different in consulting. Consulting is usually about there's an obstacle, there's a problem, there's an issue within the foundations of our operations, and we need you to kind of walk us through how to fix it or fix it for us. Coaching is really more about taking individuals and helping them climb their own ladder of success that they establish as they're going forward. It's not about somebody else's ladder of success. And so
Mhm.
when you're coaching somebody, you're really just helping them to become better in the facets that they have designated for you and moving them along the process.
Okay, so like setting small goals.
Yeah, that's some of it. Setting small goals. Again, the everything starts with identifying what you want to do, what you want to accomplish. We have to figure out what the end result is, and then working our way backwards to figure out how we're going to get there, and then figuring out what is it about what you've done so far, what you're doing currently, or what is it within you that's keeping you from actually achieving that goal.
Okay, we have a question. Do you work with clients locally or globally?
Both. So we work with clients all over the world. It doesn't really matter where you are, especially in 2022, because we can do
Hmm.
things like this virtually. We do like to be able to sit down with our clients from time to time just to have that we're in the same room, feeling, aura, energy, dynamic, all of that, because it does make a difference. But we work with clients all over the place.
Now, do you do group sessions?
We
Or
do
do,
group sessions, actually. If you go to our website, you can go to breathelifeintobusiness.com. That'll take you to the Eoni and Avia website. And you can sign up for what we call the Elite Circle. The Elite Circle is where you can get group coaching and get a little bit further access to Joy and myself. And you can also kind of discover more about what it is going to take for your business or for you personally to get to that place that you want to be.
okay,
Yeah.
let's see. Where did the name come from? Because I told you it was a tongue twister.
So the name came from my business partner Joy. She ran a company called Eonian Legacy, and the word Eonian means lasting for an immeasurably long period of time. Right? I ran a company called Avia Marketing, and the word Avia means portrait and or new birth, depending on what language you're speaking. And so when we came together and we were thinking about what we were going to call our company, we came up with a lot of different like regular like consulting firm type names, and we realized like that's not us. We have to keep the originality and the flair behind who we are as an organization and our company's personality. So we merged Eonian and Avia, and we became Eonian Avia. It is a portrait that lasts for an immeasurably long period of time.
Amen. I agree with that
Yeah.
because that's the word. You feel what I'm saying? That's the word, and you've already spoken over your business.
Yep.
So I see the picture of you lasting a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, is there, hold on, we have a question. Can you teach me how to retire? I'm ready to close my business.
Um, So I don't know that I can necessarily teach you how to retire. I can definitely teach you the steps necessary to close your business. Retirement is simply closing your business and deciding that, or stopping whatever it is that you're working on and deciding that you are just going to live your life from there on out. And so the steps to closing your business is one thing. And then after that, it's a part of living it out for you to learn how to retire. Because
Okay.
retirement is a whole different bug. It is a whole different bug.
And I've met so many people that after they retire, they go back to work. It's like
Yeah, because they don't know what to do with
do
themselves.
it
They don't
themselves.
know how to occupy their time. Hmm.
And do you think that's a part of getting quiet and learning who you are as an individual?
Absolutely. I mean, it's sitting in that still space and relearning who you are now, right? It's not about learning who you are as an individual from then. It's about discovering who this new person who does not have to go to work every day is and what that life looks like. Now, some people just discover they don't like that life, right? Like they prefer to be doing something like what they were doing before. But then you also get some people who are just, they just don't know what to do with themselves. And so they end up going back to work.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And I would be on every cruise ship. What? You
Yeah.
know, I will just be living. Now, you've done all this work. It's time to live. You know,
Yeah.
and I've
Well, it
met.
also depends on the person because if you get somebody who's already done the living, right? Like they were living while they were living and while
Ah,
they were working. And
mhm.
so for them, retirement becomes just kind of a bore because they've been on the cruise ships, they've gone on the trips, they've had the camping outings, they've climbed the mountains, they've sat on the beaches, they've gone to the festivals, they've been to the concerts, they've done all the things, right?
Mhm.
And so then it's about discovering small hobbies that you like, habits, things that you might want to get involved with, or uh, actions that you want to help pursue, and then moving forward. And then sometimes people are like, I just want to go back to work.
I met a guy probably about a year ago. He said, you know, when I was younger, all I wanted to do was fish. I think he's maybe in his 70s now.
Hmm.
He was like, now I can hardly take the pole to the creek. He said, I just worked and worked and worked. And the thing that I always loved to do, I never found time to do. And
Hmm.
so I sat at the table with him. I said, you know, all of those things were choices. And you kept choosing other people, other places, other things, and you never chose yourself.
Right.
Why is it you think a lot of people never choose themselves, never listen to their own desire?
Well, I don't know that that's a fair assessment because I think people believe they are choosing themselves because working, right, providing for their family, providing for themselves, creating a life or a lifestyle that they can be comfortable in is a form of choosing themselves, right? And so what happens is sometimes they don't choose the more softer side of themselves because they believe this other side, the taking care of and creating the lifestyle side, has a higher priority. And the truth is, it can at times. Um, but I believe within that, it's important for us to find the space where we are pursuing external desires away from that and giving it at least almost equal status, right? Because for the example that you use, right, if you've got somebody who always loved to fish and that's all they wanted to do, then it would be appropriate for them to find some time to do that, right? They might discover they didn't need it as much as they thought they needed it. They just needed a little bit of it to help
Hmm.
them keep going. So, yeah, I think you're kind of choosing yourself on both sides, but you've got to give them somewhat equal priority in your life. And it really boils down to what we prioritize. And
And I
sometimes
agree.
we're in a position in life where we don't feel like we have the option of prioritizing our softer desires. That these hard concrete desires are absolutely necessary because if we don't, then we don't have the money we need to pay our mortgage or our rent or buy food or whatever that is. And so we get in these positions where we feel like those are the higher priorities.
Okay, now I really got to get into this because this is the pastor coming out now. Okay,
Okay.
you ready?
Hmm.
If you know that God is your provider, why are you in the way?
Because I still got to do my part.
Okay, but if you know that God is your provider and He opens doors and um, He brings the people, the places, the things, all these things to work together.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is you need to do. A lot of times we get in God's way
We
because we
can.
force it. Because sometimes, and I'm telling you from my point of view, the things I've done,
Mm-hmm.
I've tried to force things that it was just not my moment, my time, my anything. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? But I was just forcing it because I was using that. I got to do it. If I don't do it, who's gonna do it? That
Mm-hmm.
mentality, and that embracing that. Okay, it's a gentle journey. You can
Right.
go about this journey a whole lot easier. You don't have to be as stressed out. You don't have to be as tired. You don't have a lot of things you don't have to do right
So
now.
I would say the journey isn't easy. I don't think you go about it easier. I think it's simpler, but it's not
Mm.
easy. So I have a it's kind of like a mantra that I use with some of my clients. And I'm like, what we're going to do is going to sound very simple, but it's not going to be easy to accomplish.
Mhm.
And I think that's what life with God is like. It's simple. Like the things that he tells us are very simple in nature. They're not complex at all, but they're not easy to carry out. And so recognizing that you say, okay, so if I recognize that God is my provider, then why am I doing X, Y, Z? Well, he provides us opportunities. We still have to take advantage of the opportunities.
Mhm.
We still have to debate and validate the opportunities. We still have to take time to understand and recognize and wrap our arms around and wrap our head around the opportunities. And we have to take our time to understand and wrap our head around all that it's going to take from us, from an energy standpoint, from an exertion standpoint, for us to wrap ourselves around the opportunity. And then ultimately, he still gives us choice. So it's our choice whether to take the opportunity that he presents us or not. So even if we're sitting here and we're saying, well, you recognize that God is your provider. Yes, I recognize that he gives me opportunities that I can choose to take or not to take, right? And so from that standpoint, then it's about, well, what kind of work do I want to put in based on the opportunity that's presented before me? And then there's times where the opportunity hasn't presented itself yet. And we're humans, so we get to a place where we get antsy, we get afraid, we get worried, we get scared, we get this, we get that. And then it's not about God being a provider, it's about him being a comforter, right?
Mhm.
And we have to lean into the comforter space and not focus so much on the fact that he's your provider and you're going to be okay. Because guess what? Sometimes you're not going to be okay. You're going to be a wreck and it's going to be awful. And life is going to feel like there's no reason to keep going. And in that moment, it's not about him being a provider, it's about him being a comforter.
We had a question. Did you see
Okay.
it?
I did not.
My dad told me to move. No, to mow the lawn. Well, yeah, to mow the
Yeah.
lawn, but it wasn't easy to do. I agree with
Yeah.
you. Yes. Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I will tell you. I've done a lot of things that were not easy. When I look back over them, I could have made shifts in some of my decisions, and it would have been a lot easier than
Right.
the weight that I carry.
Yeah,
The
but
weight that I
that's
was
the case
carrying.
with everything we've ever done in the history of our lives. There's not anything you can look back on your life that you can't say right now that you can look back and have hindsight as 2020 and say I can pick out 4 or 5 things I could have done differently that would have made it easier then, but I didn't know that then. It's the concept of having someone step into, let's say, a new position at a job, right? And something they messed up, something they were confused on, and you ask the question, well, why didn't you ask? And they're like, I didn't know there was a thing to ask. I didn't know this was anything there to ask about, right? And so from that same concept, if you look at it like, well, I look back and I could have made this change and made that change, but those changes weren't in your mind then. And you might even not even know those changes existed. You might have had no reference to how that could have come about that way. And so even the good things that happen in our lives, we can look back and see how they all could have gone better because
Okay,
that's part of
Stefan,
having hindsight.
we have to take a break. Remember where you're at. Okay?
Absolutely.
We'll be right back, you guys.
Mental Health Through the Pandemic by Christopher Swansberg. Through the outbreak of COVID-19, we as a nation have had struggles. Our government ignores the experts. Our jobs are looking for loopholes to stay open as essential jobs. Our work hours are reduced. Millions become unemployed. Toilet paper is sold out across the country. Audiobook produced by Angie B. Productions.
Hi, everyone. This is Insurance Chat with Debbie Scarborough. I'm from Tifton, Georgia, and I'm married for 35 years. We have 2 boys and 1 grandson, 4 cats, 3 dogs, and a turtle. Text me your questions. That might help for our next episode. Want to make sure all of your questions get answered. Help bridge that gap between insurance language and what we need to know today. When we're dealing with our home and auto policy, we hear the word deductible. When we're talking about long-term care, it says elimination period. Well, they both mean the same thing. That's what you pay first before the insurance company pays. So there's a variety of products, especially with medical insurance. Most of us are seeing our deductibles $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. So today is probably more than ever that time when we need to think about a supplemental policy. So make sure you text me some questions that you may have about some of your insurance. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. This was Insurance Chat with Debbie Scarborough, and I hope you have a great week. Thank you.
We thank you for watching today's episode of the Flow Network TV show with Pastor Latiska Powell. We'll be back with more from her guest in just a moment. But first, the book tour is coming to Southfield, Michigan, Saturday, December 3rd, 2022. We invite you to join us for networking. Come out to meet the authors and the entrepreneurs. There will be free gifts for all attendees. Vendor space is available. Please call 248-702-5559. We'll be back with more with our special guest in just a moment.
Yep, I'm an author, Sandra B. Come meet me December 3rd in Southfield, Michigan. Yep, I'm an author. Admission is free. Details below. Yep.
All right, everybody, we are back. Stefan, please join us.
Always here, ready to rock.
Now, would you like to finish what you were starting?
Oh, I was done. That was it. Yeah, that was it. That was the complete end of that thought.
Okay. Well, I do appreciate you for being on here, being as authentic as you can be,
Absolutely.
and helping us get our minds wrapped around what it is you do, how we can contact you. That was at Breathe Life Into Your Business.
Yes, breathelifeintobusiness.com.
Into business. Okay, intobusiness.com. And we can actually come in and become a part of the crew.
Yep, you can go to the website, you can join the Elite Circle, and you can get all of the resources, courses, guidebooks, and access to exclusive coaching and conversations and all of that by joining the Elite Circle.
Okay, now is there any, I guess, like step, like a first step you would like to just throw out here for a few.
Um,
Hit the link. Come on and hit the link so you can see more.
right, that's the first step. put the website in the address and ask for more information. That's the first step. I would really say for people who are anywhere in life right now, like it really doesn't matter where you are in your life right now, understand that the most important thing is this moment right here. And what are you receiving from this moment? Whether what you're receiving is joy, whether what you're receiving is pain, whether what you're receiving is wisdom, whether what you're receiving is opportunity, whatever it is that you're receiving in this moment right now, it matters, and it should matter to you. And if it doesn't, then you take a couple steps back and you want to go find out why. Why is what I'm receiving in this moment right now not the priority? Why is my priority what I received in the past or what I think I'm going to receive in the future? Because the only thing that matters is the moment that you're in right now.
Now, I do agree with that. That's the only thing that we can work with.
Yep.
And in life, once you really look at life, the past, present, and future all line up together. You know, you're right here in this moment. Your mind can take you and dwell in the past all day long, or it can take you forward all day long. But in the midst of that, you're still in this standstill, not deciding one thing at all.
Yeah.
Not making one decision. You're just still standing. Thank you for watching, you guys. And thank you, Stefan, for coming on, telling us about how you can help us, how you can coach us, how you can counsel us. And tell us, what's the lady's name that you work with again?
Her name is Joy Saunders.
Joy Saunders.
Mm-hmm.
You guys make sure you go to the webpage if there's anything that you need. I'm quite sure it's on the webpage.
Yes.
Read, understand, press the correct buttons, subscribe, do some things so you can at least be on his list. Okay, absolutely. To get what's the next move. And thank you for watching Pastor Latiska Powell in the flow. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Because that's the more that we come out, you help us grow. We grow, you grow. Information is here for you. Okay? You guys have a beautiful, amazing day. Thank you for being in the